And China's President Xi Jinping has praised Hong Kong Chief Executive Carrie Lam for her courage and commitment to govern during exceptional times. During their meeting in Beijing, President Xi described 2019 as the most challenging and complicated year for the SAR since the handover in 1997, and expressed unwavering support for her leadership and the Hong Kong police. Now, for more on this story, political analyst Professor Joseph Cheng joins us from Hong Kong. Professor Cheng, Mrs. Lam received praise and support from Beijing. Does President Xi really have faith in her, or is this just sort of a front up for the cameras?
We don't exactly know, but the message is obvious and loud and clear. Beijing is willing to support the Carrie Lam administration in a very strong manner. This will mean that the entire pro-Beijing United Front in Hong Kong has to support her, despite its dissatisfaction with the results of the recent district council elections. It also means that her strong support for the police, that her strong line of refusing to make any further concessions will be maintained.
Professor Cheng, what can you tell us about the language Mr. Xi used, though?
The praises offered were rather lavish. Certainly, President Xi praised Carrie Lam for her courage, for her commitment, and this is exactly what the president demands of the cadre corps in China. And he has been appealing that cadres have to demonstrate their courage in the face of difficulties and to show their commitments. So the language used is very strong praise for Carrie Lam, but at the same time, the language, the body language also demonstrates that Xi Jinping was receiving a report from his subordinate, and the status of the Hong Kong chief executive has certainly been lowered, especially when compared with that enjoyed by the first chief executive, CH.
Well, with the support sort of shown, what kind of steps can we expect the Hong Kong government now to take in the coming months, given that the protests are still ongoing?
Well, it is not expected that the Carrie Lam administration will make any serious concessions. She will have to make an announcement on the setting up of an independent commission of review rather than investigation. And all eyes will be on what powers will be enjoyed by this review commission, whether or not it has power to subpoena officials and documents, and whether this review will also cover police behavior during the crisis. Then in February, there will be the budget to be announced, and it is expected that the budget will offer various types of gifts to various categories of people to appease them. And as demanded by the president of China, the Carrie Lam administration has to indicate its program to tackle the deep-rooted structural problems facing Hong Kong, as Hong Kong is said to be facing the most testing period of time since 1997.
Professor Cheng, saying all that, do you think it's going to be enough to actually end the protests and violence in the city then?
Well, violent clashes with the police on the part of the radical protesters will certainly subside. These protests, these clashes cannot be sustainable, but at the same time, it has been shown that people remain very dissatisfied with the lack of concrete concessions on the part of the Carrie Lam administration, and you do expect a kind of long-term non-cooperation campaign to go on, trying to demonstrate that the Carrie Lam administration lacks representativeness and legitimacy.
All right, many thanks for that. We've been speaking to political analyst Professor Joseph Cheng in Hong Kong.